Good afternoon, members of Spiritual Accredited Encounters, Positive Spiritualists, and to all the other groups I share with. How's everybody doing this evening? I just wanted to make a quick live feed. I'm going to send a couple of shares out to see who might want to join what I have to say. But I tell you what, brothers and sisters, what I want to talk to y'all about, whoever's here is going to view this video. I just want to tell you, it's always good to stay in touch with those that you know. Like for me today, I made contact with one of my NCOs that served with me in the military, and he's one of the ones that was with me when we saw what was in the wool line after the night fire. And I was telling him, I asked him if he remembers what we saw that night, and he said that he remembers. And he said the only Mother Nature knows what's in those woods. That's what he said, but he remembers what we seen. And I asked him maybe one day, if he wants to, that we could do a live and he can come on and do the live. And he said he'll let me know whenever he's ready to speak. He was in the military longer than I was. He actually retired from the military, but he was there that night when we were coming out of the range, and we witnessed this werewolf-like creature standing on the wool line. But he remembers. We had a lot of, you could say, spiritual, cryptid, and UFO sightings. Well, we served together. Me and him were together as a crew for about, for a couple of years. I'll say like 4 years. We're together as a group. And we witness things together. You know, when you're in the military, we witness things together. As he was my TC and I was his gunner, and then we have a driver and a loader, so it's a 4-man crew. So all of us that were on the crew, we experienced all kinds of phenomenons, whether it was this werewolf-like beings that we seen in the wool line, or the moment that there was a time, and I was talking to him about this, that he remembers a time that when our tank was going to flip over, what happened, we was driving, and I've always been a spiritual person. It was nighttime, and at nighttime in the desert, we're in NTC, California, which is in Fort Irwin, California. And at nighttime in the desert, everything looks the same. So the ground looks the same. So if there's a hole or a drop that's like a 20-foot drop, you're not going to be able to see it. Not even with your night vision, you're going to be able to see if there's a drop. So you have to be very careful at nighttime when you maneuver out there, because it's that dangerous that it could be a drop that you don't see because everything looks the same. It's so dark in the desert. So we was driving, and we was rolling, we was doing a night mission. And as we were doing the night mission, what happened is something came to me spiritually, and I was the gunner, and something told me to traverse the turret to the left, right, which is the main gun tube on the tank. No, I got a picture of the goat, and I got a picture of the tank. Well, the gun tube, I traversed it to the left because I seen that image. And when I was traversing, he said, "What are you doing?" And when I traversed it, that's when it happened. It's like our tank tilted to the left, right? So when it tilted to the left, the gun tube, when I traversed it, I guess it stopped us from falling over into a 20-foot drop. We didn't know the situation at the time. All I knew is I was sitting on the gun tube, and my loader was sitting by the wall. My TC, which was him, was in an angle, and my driver was scared. He had his foot on the brake. He had put on the parking brake, and we didn't know what was going on. All we know, we were sideways on the tank, you know, like we're fixing to flip over. So it was, as we were fixing to flip over, something happened. You know, my driver was he was a private, he was young, so he was scared. And I said, "Hey, don't be afraid, everything's going to be okay." when you went up in a situation like that, you try to keep everybody calm. And I said, look, if we do flip over, because some of them were trying to get out of the tank. I said, don't get out of the tank, because if we flip, it's gonna crush us, crush you all if you're trying to get out. So I just told them, stay in place and everything's going to be all right. We just stay place, don't move. And we were there, and I was praying the Our Father, because we're in a predicament. As we're in a predicament that it could flip at any time, something happened. This would happen. We have the hatches open. We have the TC hatch and the loader hatch open, and we hear a woman crying outside. And this is in the desert. I'm talking about there's no life out there, right? So we hear a woman crying around the tank, and you can hear her crying around the tank, and my driver, he got scared, like, what is that? And I said, don't worry about it. Don't pay attention to it, And I kept on saying the Our Father, I kept on praying the Our Father. And then after a while, we talked through the internet, which is through our CVC, and we contacted, was saying we don't know where we're at. They were fixing to flip over, that we needed some assistance, and they were trying to find us. So they couldn't see where we were at, and they told us that if we could turn on the headlights of the tank, so they could try to spot us. So after a while, we hear somebody bang on the tank, and it was his name was Staff Sergeant Robinson. And what he did, each tank has like a tow cable tied to the side. So he connected his tank to our tank, and in the back of the tank, he's got like a hole, and he hooked it up there, and it normally has that to pull the tank. So he used his tank to pull our tank just to keep us from flipping over. It was like a 20-foot drop. So after a while, the people, the evaluators came, and they told us, okay, the mechanics came, they secured it a little bit more so it will be safe, so we won't be able to flip over. So when they finally got there, they said, all right, y'all can come out now. And we got off the tank, and we were sliding off the tank like a slide, because we're in, like I said, fixing to flip over. So they got us to safety. And everybody was kind of like dramatized from it, because, it's a matter of life or death. A tank, when you flip over into a 20-foot drop, it could be life-threatening. So we waited for the sun to come out. So the only way that we were going to be able to get, what happened was, when I traversed the gun tube was preventing the tank from flipping over, because the gun tube went straight in, dug into the ground, and it was in an angle. It was stuck into the ground where all the sand went in through the gun tube and almost went out the breech where we put the main gun around. And if I wouldn't have followed that instinct of my spiritual instinct, that something spiritually told me to traverse a tank to the left, then most likely what would have happened, if I wouldn't have done that at that time, we would have flipped over. It would have been a quick flip. But luckily, I followed my instincts, and I traversed it. Like I was shown a picture, and I was shown to traverse the tank, and that's what I did. I traversed which is a turret, because the tank's got a turret and it can go 360. It can go all the way around. So I traversed it to the left, and the gun tube got stuck in the sand. And if it would have been for that, me traversing that gun tube, then we would have flipped over. I'm just giving you an example of, and this, I started remembering all this just by talking to my buddy that was, or my NCO that was with me in the military. That was my TC. I started reminiscing that moment. You never forget when you go through something dramatic, right? You're not going to forget the moment. You're going to remember details. You're going to remember what time it was. You're going to remember the names of the people, the names of the crew. My driver's name was Roman. That's what his name was. I believe the loader we had at the time was Keith. It was Roman and Keith, if I remember correctly. Those were my loader and driver at the time. But that's all. I'm just sharing the story with y'all about even in the military. We experienced all these things. I was at that time I was a young sergeant, a buck sergeant, what they call it in the military, and we experienced that. But at the same time, because of my upbringings and of what I know spiritually, I knew that when I heard that woman crying around the tank, it only meant two things. It's either no one is a whaler, or the death is nearby. They make their presence known that way. So I went into prayer. And luckily, spiritually, the Heavenly Father showed me an image of what was going to happen, and I was able to act to it. If I would not traverse the turret to the left, and when we were fixing to flip, we would have flipped all the way and landed probably upside down, and we would have gotten injured, or possibly somebody might have passed away. But thank God that nothing like that happened. So yeah, being in the military, it's a very dangerous job. And we were just training. And training, a lot of people lose their lives in training because you don't get enough sleep sometimes, and you're so tired. And that's when accidents happen, but we practice in all terrains, in which I'm just giving an example of how the spirit can work in a combat environment. Also, other things that we witnessed when we were out there. When people like talking about UFOs, well, we've seen one out there when we were out there in California. I've seen one in California. I've seen one in near the borders by Kuwait and Iraq, and I've seen one in Killeen, Texas, that looked like a pyramid shape. But the one that we seen in California as a crew, it was doing which is an unidentified flying object. It was doing a figure eight in the sky like this. It was doing a figure eight, and the lights were flickering, different colors. It had red, it had green. I can remember what the other color, but for sure, red and green were one of the colors that it had. And he kept doing a figure eight in the sky, like we could see it, because you could see the stars. You could see it doing the figure eight. So, I've seen satellites. I've seen military choppers, military jets, but I never seen how should I say, a military craft do something like this. It was moving so fast that it was like a blur. It was doing a figure eight, and after moving like that for about a minute of doing the figure eight, it's like it's showing its presence to us, because it knew that we were there in the tank, right? And our tank, we kept it dark. They can't see the lights or nothing, but I'm more sure they could have probably seen the heat coming off the tank. So it's doing this figure eight, right? It's just doing the figure eight. Next thing you know, and we're looking at it, and we're like, man, what is that? We're talking amongst each other as a crew. What is that? And we're talking, and it's like, man, that looks like a UFO of some sort, and it's doing a figure eight. And next thing you know, it just goes straight up into the sky, into the atmosphere. It goes straight up to the stars, So we just looked at each other, and we just said, well, we just leave it at, it was a satellite. That's one of the things that everybody tries to say nowadays. When I see satellites, they don't have the capability of doing something like that. The satellites normally move, and within our stratosphere, and they move slowly. And you can see them sometimes when they come down to Earth, and they're moving slowly within our stratosphere. Or atmosphere within Earth. You can sometimes see them when they're passing by. There's so many things flying up in the air. That anything is possible. But that was one of the first times that I seen something move that fast. That had that capability. For it to move that fast, it had to be something with very strong capabilities, to move and then to go back into the heavens. But at the same time, so I'm just sharing you. It's going to be a quick video because I don't want to miss out my cousin Victor's show that he's going to do at 6 o'clock, I believe. He's going to go live and he's going to talk about it's dealing with the Bigfoots within the Bible, and he's going to go do a live feed. So I'm gonna try not to miss that. So I'm just doing this feed right now just to share that I had a wonderful time. We didn't talk over the phone, but we were talking through Messenger, So we were talking about some of the events that we witnessed when we were in the military, and which we had that incident, a matter of life or death. How something spiritually came to me and made me traverse the turret so we wouldn't flip over. And then we had that incident of the unidentified flying object as a crew, that it was more than one person that witnessed it. And then we had how should I say, that encounter down in Fort Hood at this range called Blackwell Multi-Use Range, or Blackwell Range, which is what we do our gunneries. We do daytime fire and nighttime fire, where we was doing the night fire and we was going to go get evaluated. We were one of the last tanks at night. It was around 3, 4 in the morning. And as we were going towards to get our score evaluated, we seen this werewolf-like creatures. This is like in 1990. When this happened, it was like 1990, I would say 1996, somewhere around there when this happened. And 1996, 1997, when we had that encounter there at the range on Fort Hood, Texas. It was called Blackwell Multi-Use Range, or Blackwell Range. That's where we had this encounter. And as we were walking down the trail, we're going up the hill to go to it was a little luminous shelter where the guys that were going to evaluate us over score how we did, because they were going to evaluate us. So as we were going up the hill to get to them, we seen this werewolf-like creatures that were standing by the forest. They were standing right there. You could literally see them. So when I looked at him and looked at me and we said, "What is that?" And we turned back, they were gone. So when I was talking to him about it, he said, "Yeah, I remember that." And the only thing he told me is only the Mother Nature knows what's within the woods. That's what he told me. But he remembers, and I asked him, like I said, maybe one day we can do a live and talk about this thing so people could know that there's things that exist. But what was worried about that is we've seen it in flesh form. I mean, we could literally see the color, how he looked and everything. They were staring at us. It was 2 of them. They were pretty massive. But then as we looked like this and went back, they was gone. Like they disappeared in thin air. So, like you said, only Mother Nature knows what's within the woods. And when we talk about Mother Nature biblically, we know what's within the woods of what the Bible says. We got the children of the Lilith that live within the woods and other things that live in the woods. You figure when Jesus casted out the legion to go into the swine had to go somewhere. They said the swine went over the edge into the ocean, whether they survived or not. Where does wild pigs or live? They live in the woods. There's a lot of things that live in the woods. It's just sometimes we don't have the answers for it. But I'm just sharing you. I'm doing a quick live feed. One of these days, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put what time the show, and I'm gonna do it ahead of time. I just felt that I needed to do this live feed just to let you know, to keep in contact with family members, keep in contact with people that cross paths in your life, and to see how they're doing and communicate with them, and just by me communicating with them, it resurfaced all this events that happened that I remember that I had forgotten, that I remembered what happened while we were together as a crew. He was with me when we were back in 1995. We had gone back to the guard the border near the Kuwait and Iraq. We were there by the border, guarding the border back in '95, and that's when we ran into the problem of the Djinn. That it started messing with the crew. They would surface up the Djinn. The Djinn will, when they would burn trash, they'll go around the fire, I guess, to get the energy off the fire. But we started having problems with the Djinn out there, which it would manifest itself. It would look at the shadow form, and sometimes it looked like how the Muslims dress with all black. And we were having problems with that. So the only thing I can do to protect the crew was pray, around the tank, tell the crew, to do the sign of the cross to protect themselves, and if I would see something or something would come around, I send it away through prayer. I was just glad to live that area or to leave the Kuwait and Iraqi borders because there was so much spiritual activity out there when we were out there. Like I said, this is a quick live feed. Who's here with me? I don't see her now. I think this is Sister Katie, I believe. How you doing, sister? Yeah, I had been healing from my shoulder, or I had pulled a muscle. So all last week, I really didn't do no physical activity. Oh, I wanted to share something with y'all too. I wanted to share with y'all before. Well, let me finish saying about So today I did a light workout just to see where I was at, and I still feel a little bit of tension, but I still managed to do the workout. So all this week, to get back on track, I'm going to do light workouts. I have a friend that works, that he sells, minerals and stuff like that at the flea market. And I bought some items from him. I bought this for $2.25. I'm going to show you what it is. It's a rainbow agate slice. That's what it's called, a rainbow agate slice. It's pretty neat because you can put it in a little pouch. But that's how much he sold it to me, for $2.25. And here's the agate piece. I got two. I got a blue one and I got a pink one. This is the first one, and what makes them unique is the rainbow agate slices. They have a rainbow around them, around the outer edge of the slice. I don't know if I can show. Let me see how I can show you the rainbow. Y'all can see it at all. I'll turn on the light so y'all can see it better. But it's got a rainbow that goes around the slice. I think you can see it on this one. I'm not sure. Well, I would have to twist it another way. But that's what the rainbow is on the agate slice. And it's got a little description of what it is about, and I'm going to read it to y'all. A rainbow agate slice. I'm going to read you what it is. Agate is a variety. Let me see. See if I can pull out this little card. It's got a little pamphlet in there. Okay, let me open up okay. It says agate is a variety of chalcedony quartz that forms in concentrated layers in a variety of colors and textures. All colors can protect, stabilize, and ground, harmonizing our positive and negative energies. Pink agate brings happiness and friendship. It activates the heart and promotes love, eases depression, and enhances ability to forgive. The pink agate. That's what it does. That's pretty amazing, right? That he can do that. That it enhances the ability to forgive. And let me see, in the blue agate, I got the blue one that I showed you, which is right here. The blue agate clears and stabilizes the aura, eliminating negativity. It enhances clarity of thought and effective communication. That's what blue agate does. I have the purple ones too, but I got them in the room. I'm going to read the rest of the colors. Purple agate aids meditation and spiritual transformation. It helps develop intuition. That's the color purple. The natural agate, which doesn't have no color, just natural, it is an excellent choice for students and artists as it enhances creativity and strengthens the intellect, provides bursts of energy as and when required, which is the natural agate. The Greek agate is used as a good luck amulet, also for reducing feelings of envy, helps to heal and improve relationships. And that's the green agate. And that's what I wanted to share with y'all. My friend, for $2.25, I got blessed with this rainbow. I've always wanted a rainbow one. But you can see like a rainbow color around the edge right there. This is the pink one. But when I see them, when the sellers are selling them, they have a pretty high price. But my friend, he collects stuff. He vends at the flea market, and I told him one day, hey man, you gotta get into the minerals, and he started going to like Arkansas and collecting minerals over there, and he started getting into it, and he's doing pretty good doing that. And he got this from a vendor, I believe from, I'm thinking he said China. And he only charged me $2.25. That's all it cost me. When I see that, and it came with a little bag, a little pouch. So I got blessed to be able to purchase this from them, at a good price. Like I said, I've seen where they sell the rainbow ones, and they want a lot for the rainbow agate slices. But I got blessed, so I'm just sharing it with y'all, and it comes with a little pouch. But yes, brothers and sisters, like I said, if y'all want to tune in 5 minutes, Cousin Victor, I believe he's going to do a live. He's going to do a biblical study, and the live has to do with it's dealing with Enoch. Or should I say Enoch? He's dealing with Cain's next of kin, and he's going to talk about I believe a beast that they talk about there, which I believe is what people know as Bigfoot, and he's going to bring that more light into that. So whoever was interested, Cousin Victor is gonna go live in about 4 minutes now, and I'm most likely gonna go watch the show, and I might share his feed, Hero Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, after, or I might try to share it during he's doing the feed, so like that y'all can view it. But thank y'all for tuning in, for listening to what I have to say. I know sometimes I could talk for a very long time. Because, when it comes to you and you're feeling the spirit and you're feeling the viewers, you're feeling certain things come out a certain way because you're just going with a spiritual flow of things. So thank you all, and I appreciate y'all tuning in. I know some of us live on the other side of the world, and I just appreciate everybody that participates, And if y'all got pictures, I know Sister Katie, you have pictures that I remember they used to send me of the activities, sometimes the activities that would happen at your house from back in the day, from a long time ago, because we've been friends for a very long time. You're more than welcome to share them here on Spiritual Encrypted Encounters, so people can understand that there is a spiritual balance, that there is a spiritual war happening, and it's not just happening in certain locations. It's happening all around the world, and people need to open up and be aware that we have to be spiritual ready, not just for ourselves, but to protect our next of kin, our children, right? We have to protect them. We have to show them the way, and part of the showing the way is letting them know about the balance, the good from the right from the wrong, and tell them of how to overcome situation, because we can only be here on earth for so long, right? In the flesh. So it's up to us to guide our children at the very end. But anyways, this is going to be the end of my live feed. I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all always tuning in. And when I do go live again, I'm going to try to have somebody as a guest, and I'm going to try to place them ahead of time so y'all know that I'm going to go live at a certain date. One time I was thinking about doing podcasts, like I'm building my own podcast and doing the StreamYard thing or YouTube thing. But for me, it's easier here, because at least I know that the members have something to view, and I don't have to do all that other stuff, but it's good to do that just in case Facebook decides to ban your account or stuff like that. But at the same time, I'm just going to do it like this for right now. And people are always going to remember, videos. They're going to remember when people say things, especially if it touches on the heart. But anyways, tune in to cousin Victor Cias. He's going live at, I believe he said 6 o'clock. But I'm going to try to share his post. It's going to be very interesting. Thank you, Sister Katie. God bless you, your family. And thank you for tuning in. Happy holidays to where you're at. And always remember, sister, always maintain the Love Foundation. That's the key to overcome any form of negativity. Maintaining the Love Foundation. Thank you, sister, for tuning in. God bless you. Peace.